What a day in the NFL. Craziness going on, as you can tell by the title of this episode. Let's wrap it up and let's get this started. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Talking Packers with Steve. Last week in my episode, I did explain why I'm using the Dean Ambrose, WWE Superstar Dean Ambrose theme music for my episode, so definitely check that one out. Also, if you're a fan of any of the 32, obviously, meaning if you're a fan of any of the 32 NFL teams, welcome to subscribe, uh, comment, share, like, post. Um, Share it to other NFL fan pages on Facebook, to your friends on Facebook, Twitter, however you want to reach out. Let other people know, not just Packer fans. I mean, like I said last week, I do have my pride and loyalty to the Packers. That's why it's entitled the way it is. But I talk about all the teams, and as you can tell in the title of this episode, I also am going to be talking about the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, so, and I obviously call them by their actual name. I don't call them what rivals usually call them because, like I said, I'm a journalist and trying to be 100% professional, whether that seems boring or not. And two, that's what they're called, Minnesota Vikings, trademarked NFL team, professionals, exactly. So, anyways, not to get off my high horse about that. Again, like I said, welcome to the show. Also, I wanted to talk about um, a little bit about my predictions from last week. Only change I have is Tampa Bay winning an extra game because my stupidness, I didn't really do it right here on my phone where I had my notes for last week. And I actually had them missing the playoffs, even with a good record that I had them at. With only 10 wins, so 11-5, 10-6. It actually was a difference. So I had to change that up. I have them 11-5 making the playoffs. And actually, we're gonna take a little road trip. Wait a minute. Road trip, field trip. Remember those in school? Yeah. Anyways, road trip, field trip. A couple of feet away here. I have to get the my information, my handy dandy notebook, because I wanted to actually go and indulge. Again, I apologize for the moving camera here. I'm moving with my laptop, but my notebook here of the playoffs and the records. So I'm gonna go through this one more time as quick as I can before, hopefully, my amigo, my friend, and on and off co-host John is able to join. I want to do this now before I don't want to bore him when he jumps on. So I'm going to go through it all again and go from there. NFC East. First place Dallas 10-6, Giants 9-7, Redskins 8-8, Eagles 6-10. NFC South. Panthers 12-4, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 11-5, Falcons 7-9, Saints 7-9. The NFC West. The Arizona Cardinals 14-2, the Los Angeles Rams 12-4, Seattle 9-7, and the 49ers 3-13. AFC East, Patriots 12-4, Buffalo Bills 8-8, Dolphins 8-8, and the Jets 7-9. AFC North, Steelers 11-5, Bengals 10-6, Ravens 8-8, Browns 6-10. The AFC South, Colts 12-4, Jaguars 11-5, Texans 9-7, and the Titans 4-12. The mighty AFC West, Raiders 13-3, Chiefs 11-5, Broncos 7-9, Chargers 6-10. The mighty NFC North, best division in the NFL, obviously in my opinion, as a Packer fan and shareholder of the team. Green Bay Packers 12-4, Vikings 11-5, Lions 9-7, Chicago Bears 7-9. So here we go with my playoffs. In the wild card round on the AFC side, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. I have the Jaguars winning by a field goal last second out of nowhere, like an RKO out of nowhere. Jaguars winning 24-21. Other part of the bracket, the Chiefs on the road to Indianapolis. Kansas City Chiefs versus the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis, Indiana. Chiefs win 34-17 over the Colts. On the NFC side, wild card round, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Dallas Cowboys. I have the Buccaneers getting the win, 28-24. Los Angeles Rams versus the Carolina Panthers. Rams over the Panthers in Carolina, 28-17. So for me, in my predictions, I have all the road teams winning, and those four teams, those bold predictions of the Raiders, the Jaguars, the Rams, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Well, for three of them, they're getting a win here. The Raiders got a bye here, as my predictions with the records show. In the next round, divisional round, excuse me, we got the Chiefs against the Raiders. Raiders beat the Chiefs 24-14. The Jaguars versus the Patriots. Patriots beating the Jaguars 38-10. So the Jaguars' magical run is over. But hey, they made the playoffs. And they made some noise in the playoffs by beating our dang good Pittsburgh Steelers team on the road in Pittsburgh. So that shows for something. Excuse me. Los Angeles Rams versus the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals over the Rams 35-28. Lindsey Bell, which you can find her on YouTube, youtube.com/Lindsey Bell, and on Twitter at Lindsey Bell. Her Tampa Bay Buccaneers against my team, the Green Bay Packers. Now that'd be awesome if this actually does happen, whether in an NFC Championship game, a wild card game, divisional game, like here in my predictions, because it'd be awesome to have her on the show then or at any point during the season. I have the Packers over the Buccaneers 28-10. So in the next round, I have the home teams winning. See, I kind of have a theme here. Road teams winning in the wildcard round, and the home teams winning in the divisional round. Because hello, for best of the NFL, in my predictions, in my opinion, they're gonna win, which is how it works. Then again, just my opinion. Okay, NFC AFC Championship game: Packers versus the Arizona Cardinals. Patriots versus the Oakland Raiders. I have the Packers over the Arizona Cardinals 45-32. And I have the Patriots over the Raiders 17-13. I have that low scoring game because both defenses kick major butt because they're awesome. Super Bowl. The Green Bay Packers versus the not New Orleans, what am I thinking? New England Patriots. Green Bay Packers versus the New England Patriots. Super Bowl 51, Super Bowl 51 in Houston, Texas, I do believe. Packers won a Super Bowl in Dallas, Texas, home of the Cowboys. Why not we win a Super Bowl in Houston, home of the Texans? Why not? Packers over the Patriots 24-17. I have the Green Bay Packers, obviously, as a fan of the Packers, and really thinking that we can make it that far. Us winning there. So hey, Oakland fans, hey, Mikey Raider at Raiders underscore 1995, and other Raider fans and other YouTubers that talk Oakland Raiders. I have your Oakland Raiders NFC Championship game against the New England Patriots, the same jabroni Patriots that stole a game from you, you know, way back when, or feels like way back when. But I don't want to open any wounds to Oakland fans. But I'm just saying, you have a chance if that actually does happen in real life, and you do get the AFC Championship game, and you're facing the Patriots, it could be revenge time, and you want to kick New England's teeth in. I would feel just like Patriots fans want to kick Oakland's teeth in again, only this time not winning on the hair of their chinny chin chin, but destroying you. But that's how any games are in the NFL. They want to win and crush them and dominance and all that other stuff, machismo stuff. But I have the Packers over the Patriots 24-17. Packers winning the Super Bowl. The last few years I have had Packers Patriots as my predictions for the Super Bowl. But I just wanted to bring that stuff up first. And then we will get here into the news, and the number one news being about Senor Teddy Bridgewater Trying to pull up the news here so I have it correct. Not that I say something out of tone or just incorrect. Period. If my computer will load any faster, that'd be nice. That would help, so there's not silence. Yep, and the fears were realized for the Minnesota Vikings. And I have a feeling, I saw the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. I apologize, I forget his name. I trust me, I do know his name. I am smarter than you think, but for some reason I forget his name as it escapes me, and I'm sure I'll remember it late tonight as when it doesn't matter and I'm not on air. But anyways, when he had his press conference talking about Teddy Bridgewater and saying, "Oh, we can't tell you, but the doctors do it. They're with it, they know better than I." All that other typical BS stuff from head coaches. I apologize for saying BS, but really, it's a bunch of that. It's they know. I mean, they're the head coach. They're the head coach of the team, numero uno in that franchise. I mean, beyond the owner, but at least from day-to-day operations, number one person in a franchise, whether it's Mike McCarthy in New Orleans or the head coach there in Minnesota. But anyways, it says here after undergo and I'm gonna let give the credit where credit is due. I found it on Twitter here on SportsCenter's Twitter handle at SportsCenter. Simple to know, but saying here, and I quote: After undergoing an MRI, it was determined Teddy Bridgewater has a complete ACL tear and is out for the 2016 season. Holy Christmas. Sucks for Vikings fans. And I know a couple of Vikings fans, one being Sports Gaming Universe here on YouTube. Not his fan. I know he's a Minnesota Viking fan. He lives in the Twin Cities. We'd love to have him on the show at some point, maybe next week to talk about the Teddy Bridgewater situation. So if you guys know of Sports Gaming Universe, if you're watching here for a couple minutes, couple seconds, and you just hear me talk about him, welcome to let him know that I'm hoping to have him on the show. But yeah, out for the season, Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, oh my gosh. And the other big news: Tim Masthay being released, and even an ironic thing, the Packers claiming punter Jacob Schrum off waivers from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Lindsey Bell's Buccaneers. I guess they might have cut him, so it's kind of like a trade without it being a trade, obviously. But us releasing Tim Masthay, who we thought was going to be winning this job, I mean, his opponent or person he was battling to keep his spot, was going to make it a good battle. But I didn't think it was going to get to that point where he actually had a chance to lose out in the battle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very surprising to see that they cut Tim Masthay. I mean, sometimes there's surprises of NFL players being cut from teams. I mean, a little bit of a surprise of the cut in Cleveland, but Tim Masthay, sayonara adios. I mean, like I said, very very surprising to me for sure. I apologize again for the silence. Just talking with John. Like I said, he's not officially my co-host for this show because he is a busy guy. He has a family and a life and stuff going on. But he does try to make each and every episode. That's why he's technically not my co-host because he can't say that he's going to be 100% being able to be for each and every show for the whole entire period of time. Which, like I said, I understand. He has a family, a life, a job, other true, real responsibilities to attend to that he can't make it. Which is, like I said, understandable. It's life. There are things more important than a podcast on YouTube. I mean, I'm trying to make this my job, but to others, it's still, for fun. But Anyways, he was just let me know he'll be able to join at some point, and because there's a lot of talk about with Teddy Bridgewater, Tim Masthay news, which by the way I misspelled his name here in the title. I'm gonna have to change that when it's done. I don't know. It's one of those things. I don't know if other people do this, and I know this doesn't have anything with NFL. It's just my personal information to share. But I don't know if others are like this. But when you either hear a name or you're spelling it out so much, you're using a cell phone, even though I don't have a smartphone, but a cell phone at all, and you're texting, or you're doing things, or you're copy and pasting, or you're using the spell check and a letterhead, and when you're doing emails or written reports, or when I used to do blogs, I used to do blog entries um, for Sports Talk or the Red Light Sports Network when I was part of the Red Light Sports Network in the past with both of my podcasts. But my point is, you're used to writing a name or writing things or specific and whatever so much that to a point you forget actually how to truly spell it. So like if you talk it so much and you're used to on air or something like that and you can say it, but then sometimes you can't spell it. I mean, it makes you. I mean, to be quite honest, it actually makes you look uneducated, but I'm not. Trust me, I'm a smart cookie, but sometimes I forget to spell things correctly, and I misspelled Tim Mastay's name here in the title. In the title, as of now. Now, if you're watching this later in archive and yada yada, it'll be spelled correctly, but as of right now, it's not. So, I'm not too happy with myself about. Let me check something. All right, but yeah, those are pretty much two biggest news in the NFL. I'm trying to see if there's any other NFL news and notes. Oh, James Jones, former Green Bay Packers, released by the San Diego Chargers. That wasn't really so surprising, but it certainly was interesting. Oh, also, Denver Broncos. I don't know how I forgot about to share this. Trevor Simeon being named the starter of the Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos, defending reigning Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos. Glass of Team Boy TV. That's his team. And speaking of a former Denver Bronco, Tim Tebow, he had his tryout, baseball workout with a dozen or more so MLB teams actually there for the workout and stuff. So that was interesting. Say the least, maybe we'll give it a shot, see how it goes, and if not, then maybe he'll come back. Who knows? Huh, interesting. I from Ian Rappaport at Rap Sheet here on Twitter. Free agent quarterback Brad Sorensen, who recently was waived by not a fan of Sports Gaming University's Minnesota Vikings. He is flying back to the Twin Cities, back to Minneapolis. He is flying back in tomorrow to re-sign, sources say. So that's interesting. Maybe you would think that they would maybe go out to get a quarterback like a Mark Sanchez, who probably would be cut by Denver if he hasn't been already. Maybe some other. Or then again, we also heard about the Dallas Cowboys and Denver Broncos talking about maybe there's interest or a possibility to get Sanchez to come to Dallas because of the Tony Romo situation, which is big news. It's Tony Romo, and he could be out for the season himself. And they're not going to say anything. I don't know what the MRI actually specifically showed for his injury, but gosh darn it. So, okay, let me see here. I'm going to read this, or maybe part of it. Teddy Bridgewater suffered a non-contact injury today at practice. This is from the Vikings statement about Teddy Bridgewater. The injury was quickly identified as a dislocated knee The injury was stabilized and he was transferred to nearby hospital for treatment and evaluation. After undergoing an MRI, it was determined that Teddy suffered a complete tear to his ACL and other structural damage. Fortunately, there appears to be no nerve arterial damages. Surgical repair will be scheduled within the next few days. Recovery will be significant. So there you go. I guess a little bit more about that. Patriots placing offensive tackle Sebastian Vollmer on reserve pup list per source, and here I'm finding at Adam Schefter on Twitter, just to give credit where credit's due, where I'm finding these news items. A lot about best available quarterbacks from Adam Kaplan at Kaplan NFL. Tavares Jackson, Rex Grossman, Matt Flynn. Hey, might as well bring Matt Flynn. I mean, he did great that one game for the Green Bay Packers a couple of seasons ago, Week 17 against the Detroit Lions. 5 touchdowns, I think it was, 5 or 7 touchdowns. T.J. Yates, who kicked butt, took names in Houston that one season at the end, the second half of the season, if I memory serves me right. Michael Vick, Charlie Whitehurst, who was cut by the San Diego Chargers. I mean, if I had to pick out of this group of Tavares Jackson, Rex Grossman, Matt Flynn, Charlie Whitehurst, Michael Vick, Austin Davis, Josh Freeman. Remember him? He actually was good at some point. Jimmy Clausen and T.J. Yates. I would actually pick T.J. Yates over Michael Vick and Matt Flynn. I would. I would go T.J. Yates, Matt Flynn, Michael Vick, and Charlie Whitehurst. Top four there. Just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt, I guess. With that, that was just what I found there. The Packers trading linebacker Drew McRae to the Buffalo Bills. Yeah. Hmm. Trying to see if there's any other big news or news here that Colin Kaepernick being big in the news about his what he did or technically didn't do. I don't really want to talk about it too much. That is a touchy subject. Oh yeah, Brown's cutting Paul Kruger. That's who I was talking about. Paul Kruger. He was kind of upset, not too happy about it in his releasing statement. There was let's just say a bit salty, but hey, whatever. But now he's going to visit the Saints and the Chiefs. And if I was him, I'm just saying, Paul, whether you're watching or not, or maybe some of your fans are, or maybe Jay, who is a Cleveland Brown fan. If I were you, I'd pick the Chiefs actually to go to play for than the Saints. Just me. Oh, look at this. Tampa Bay Buccaneers game against the Washington team, Washington Redskins, I guess. Tampa Bay game versus Washington is being moved to Wednesday, which is tomorrow night, because of incoming weather, league source tells ESPN. Maybe that game will be on ESPN. And again, for a second straight week, I actually get to see Lindsey Bell's Tampa Bay Buccaneers on national TV. That's actually kind of awesome because I am really looking forward to how Aguayo does as a kicker. I tweeted at him and Lindsey Bell as well during last week after the game, and she tweeted back and had a little conversation there back and forth. But um, I'm a fan person and I'll root for him. Hopefully, he does well, and we'll definitely see. Dolphins wide receiver Kenny Stills went down with an injury during practice. Has back looked at, not injury not considered serious. Again, that's Dolphins wide receiver Kenny Stills. Okay, so this is interesting. NFL suspends former Notre Dame linebacker, now free agent Prince Shembo, for the first 2 weeks of the season, but he's a free agent not playing with the team. Will that 2 game suspension actually be enforced if he's not on the roster, right? Like, also, there was this player from the Detroit Lions, I think it was. I don't know if he's still on the roster. I mean, we haven't gotten to the 53 man cut yet. Just the 64, I think it is, 64 man that had to happen today by 3 p.m. Central, right? 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, around there. 4 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, one of those two, or 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Either way, around that time today was that cut for 64, and then the 53 the next week after the week 4 preseason game. Point is, there was a player for the Detroit Lions I heard on Mike and Mike this morning, which you can find on ESPN Radio and ESPN2 Monday mornings, 5 a.m. To 9 a.m. Central Time. But I heard that this morning that there was a player that got fined, and he got fined like 4 times the amount he actually would make or will be making during his time during camp and everything. So the question was rose um, from Mike Greenberg to Mike Golick of will he actually still have to pay that? And no money if he's not on the roster of the Detroit Lions after the 53-man roster gets to that point. Like, will he also lose his job and then also have to still owe the NFL money? I don't. But then Golick said I think you have to be part of the main roster to for that fine to actually be enforced. So veterans released today include Rams defensive end Quentin Coples. I think I remember he was a New York Jet player. I know Albert of Main Event Marks, a good friend of mine, co-host there over there. Jets wide receiver Kyle Williams, Seahawks Brandon Browner. That was a big move. Good thing I'm looking here because I want to talk about that. Lions tight end Matthew McGullen. Oh, Raiders waived wide receiver Max McCaffrey, son of Ed McCaffrey, and older brother Christian. Now Christian, if you go to the Raiders, Christian McCaffrey, that would be awesome. Some of the Packers maybe too. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just saying. But yeah, that's too bad. Cardinals quarterback Mike Jenkins torn ACL. He'll be on the IR. Joey Bosa finally signing with the San Diego Chargers after all that hoopla, what his mom said, yada yada. And I guess in the end it was about him wanting the Chargers to compromise cash flow for the 2, 3, 4+ years for Bosa's contract, upfront money, when he is due incentives and all this other technical crap. Yada yada, whatever. Get on the field and show your worth, kid. That's all I gotta say. And that's me. I never playing it down in football, but I did play other sports. That's true. That's dang true. Terrence Knighton cut by the Patriots. Just trying to see here other news, whether they're old news or not. Obviously, I'm wanting to share as I wait for my amigo here to join the show. But the biggest news being about Tim Masthay being cut by the Packers and Teddy Bridgewater being out for the season pretty much. That's too bad. I mean, I know even as a Packer fan and being a rival of Minnesota Vikings and yada yada, you still want them at their best, right? Hmm. But yeah, Green Bay, we're getting to closer and closer to getting to this 53-man roster. I know the quarterback, Callahan, backup quarterback, Callahan looking pretty dang good. Not as good as Dak Prescott of Dallas, who now is going to be a starting quarterback, which in its own right is going to be certainly interesting there in Dallas. I mean, heck, they could actually do better this season with Dak than Tony, but we'll certainly see. Tony's out. We'll see. Well, 4 to 10 weeks, 10 to 100 weeks. Who knows? Either way, he's be out for at least the first half or the first quarter of the NFL season for sure. So we'll see what Dak Prescott is made of. But our backup quarterback is looking pretty well. And it seems like from the games. Now I know you can say yada with being preseason and not being starters, but then again last week he was playing with the start against the starting defense against San Francisco for sure. So he's definitely should proven his worth to definitely get that number 2 spot, lock it in there. But I like the kid too, Callahan. I really enjoying his play. He's like a cool guy and yada yada. He like will be a good fit to be to Aaron. Be Aaron's backup. Hopefully he keeps it up. The other person I hope makes the roster this year is Crockett. I almost was able to have him on the show last year, being my first year here on YouTube with this show, even though I'm going into my 5th season. Season talking NFL with this podcast specifically. Obviously, before the 5 years I talked about football off camera with family and friends, just as most others do. But with the podcast being after its first year, last year on YouTube, and now here doing a second season, 5th season overall. Definitely looking forward to seeing how everything plays out. All the news, like I said, I was reading off from Adam Schefter's Twitter handle. Definitely welcome to follow him. Welcome to follow me on Twitter at talking_Packers. Welcome to share this video to non-fans, Sports Universe, to others. Arshfeen, Fidelia, EDP. It'd be awesome to have that crazy dude on the show as well. I mean, he's a cool dude. Definitely enjoy his videos. Not just for the craziness, but his passion. Smart guy. I know sometimes people might think otherwise because of how he says things, but just because of the way he does things, or the tone or verbiage or swear words or whatever he uses, doesn't mean that his message or his statements that he's talking about ain't truth, ain't hashtag fact, or that they aren't that. As Joe Cronin calls it, the hashtag facts. And Joe Cronin, he's doing the Patriots, Tom Brady being out, Jimmy Garoppolo, so Jimmy Garoppolo and Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys, New England Patriots, those two going to be starting for their franchises for, well, New England for the first 4 weeks, Dallas first 10 weeks, or 8 to 10 weeks, we'll see. But I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully they both do well, and we'll see how that goes moving forward. I mean, just think about it this way. Dak Prescott does so well. He's undefeated, 8-0. So Tony wins the first half of the season entirely, at least the first half of games. 8-0. Tony is cleared, able to come back. What are you going to do now? On Dallas? We're going to bring Tony Romo back just because he is a franchise? Dak Prescott on a roll. Cowboys fans enjoying him. Them winning, not in spite of him, but because of him, sort of thing. I think you might have to sit Tony down. It might be, it could be, you never know, a Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady situation there. Now, in New England, it's not going to be a Drew Bledsoe, Tom Brady situation because A, it's only 4 weeks. But it also could be a good, if he does do a good showing there in New England, he can definitely, there's a credibility there in New England to the coach and the franchise that maybe he could be the future of New England after Tom Brady. Well, no matter how many years Tom still has left in the tank, so to speak. But as always, obviously looking forward to the NFL season. 2 weeks away. College football is starting this Saturday. And then the NFL the next weekend. Not next week, with Thursday, with the defending Super Bowl champions, as always, having the first game on the Thursday night all by itself. to have that game there, and then Sunday slate of games on September 11th, which also um, is the same night as WWE pay-per-view Backlash. Um, for WWE for SmackDown Live exclusive pay-per-view WWE Backlash is also on September 11th because now we have pay-per-views every 2 weeks in WWE because of the brand extension going on there. And I'll talk about that in my WWE podcast because there's a lot to talk about there. Kevin Owens becoming the new Universal Champion on Monday Night Raw. So, but back here in the NFL world, the NFL universe, so to speak, not too much with news and notes to bring up, but I guess maybe just diving in on the situations with quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, with the list of names I gave with the viable quarterbacks that are out there in the free agents field and who should go where and what Minnesota should do. I mean, if I was Minnesota, being selfish and being a Packer fan from Wisconsin, would want Stabby to be the starter there in Minnesota. But maybe they can go out and get a Michael Vick. Maybe they think Michael's better than the rest. Okay, fine. He has the pedigree to prove it, but to me, like I said, I would pick TJ Yates over Vick or Flynn or Charlie Whitehurst that was on that list. I'm trying to remember off memory who else was there that I listed. But out of those lists, like I said, I said TJ Yates is the top one to go get. But Dallas is going to stay with Dak Prescott. Denver is going to be cutting their, probably will be, or if they haven't already, cut Mark Sanchez. So he could be a viable option for Minnesota. But Dallas is going to stay with Dak Prescott. Minnesota might go out and see who they could sign. I know I gave you gave the updated news about the quarterback that they let go. Yeah, it's going to be turning it right around and coming back to sign with them because they need a quarterback right now. But I still would go. Like I said, for me, selfishly, going with Wisconsin alum, Wisconsin Badger, former Wisconsin Badger, Stave, who, at least from what I heard from Vikings fans, stuff did all right, are doing all right so far during the preseason and training camps, stuff like that, from local media there in Minnesota. Which is another thing I'm hoping to do: reach out to sportscasters and journalists of all 32, of all the 32, well, other 31s. I guess you can count the Packers on 32 with their official media people there, which I'm trying. Obviously, that's what I'm doing the show for, trying to grow my journalism and broadcasting, whether here with this channel or in general. But we'll see how that goes. I know I have a couple follow backs from some of them around the NFL. Again, on Twitter at talking_Packers. Just waiting. I think John will be able to join us. Yeah, and I want to get somebody else's thoughts. Just kind of sucks it has to be here near the end of the episode and near the back end because he's, like I said, he's a smart guy and definitely would have liked to be able to have him earlier so people, I might catch on or might jump on here to watch for at that point. Maybe then hear him and his genius because like I said, he's a smart man. He's just also a busy one. That's for dang sure. So. A lot of things going on in the NFL. Like I said, I gave my updated stuff for my predictions that I gave last week. Next week, obviously, we're gonna hit the ground running, and we're gonna have to have this episode before Thursday, before the first games, because like as I do each and every week during the season, which is usually when my shows around start. I usually don't start this early. I do an NFL draft predictions and an NFL draft review and giving grades to all 32 and stuff like that, and then we'll take that break from there to a week before or the week of the start of the NFL season. Now, whether that's good or bad, probably bad, but I don't know different. But that's usually how I've done it. Then again, now going into my fifth year of podcasting, talking NFL here, Blog Talk Radio, and otherwise, um, that's usually how it goes. So, with me having this actually extra episode, like, was kind of interesting because last week actually technically would be the extra episode. Because usually what happens with my seasons, I have this episode this week, 2 weeks before the NFL season, which would be my predictions, thoughts, and all this other stuff. Then the week of, or week before, and then we have predictions for week one and all that other stuff, and then we go into week one. I think next week will be NFL football week because this weekend is NCAA football week, college football starting. So Thursday, a week from this Thursday, starts the NFL season. So that's awesome, and I'm looking forward to it. And actually, let me check here on my calendar on my, like I said, non-smartphone. Is that let's see here. Thursday is the first, so that's interesting. Okay, so today is August 30th, and then we have the 31st first, and then next week. Oh wait, no, we have even another week because next week is gonna be next Thursday, the 8th, because it's the first, the 8th. That's kind of how math works. First and the 8th, and then the next week's the 15th. So, oh wait, no, that's right because that's this Thursday. Oh geez, I'm a jabroni. Okay, it's all good. Next week will be my predictions, and I will have to do it before the 8th of Thursday because that's the kickoff to the season. Um, like I said, I have my fantasy football teams that I do. I have a maximum of six teams, six fantasy football teams. I manage two of them on NFL.com, and then I have one league with my podcasting friends over at Talking W with Jay, um, with that co-host over there, Sebastian at Sebastian TSU. You follow him on Twitter, and he does one and has some of us and others that he knows, his friends, part of that league. So that's pretty awesome because I have him and others on my own leagues, but six leagues on NFL.com, one league on ESPN.com. Sorry about that, ESPN, but I don't know, just the NFL leagues just seem more visually better, visually stimulating, as in they look better. Seeing the team's logos and easier to maneuver and making roster changes, seeing draft grades. I don't know. I think in the end, to be quite honest, because in the end, a fantasy football league is a fantasy football league, right? I know some of you are saying, who cares? But to me, as visually, presentation of things means a lot to me. It does. Like right now, I know I'm just here with a laptop, just that, and then the microphone and other stuff. But I want to have, you know, somewhat production, but I don't have the money yet for that. So I hope to get to that point and then have better quality videos. Because trust me, I don't want it always to be this. I want to show that I'm serious. I want to have this as a career, whether here on YouTube to grow and get to 1 million subscribers, or to get a shot either locally in Wisconsin or nationally somewhere. I don't mind. I can move anywhere. I'm not married. At least at this time. I hope to be at some point, but you know, maybe get a chance in New York or LA area. Heck, that'd be okay if I get a job in Los Angeles working for a TV station covering the Rams. I'm still will be a Packer fan at heart, but that's going to be my job. My job is to talk about the Rams. And I get to interview, Los Angeles Rams players. Then I'm going to do my dang job. You know what I mean? So it doesn't just have to be the Packers. That would be what I would like. Just like I'm sure there's NFL players, whether they're Wisconsin Badgers or others, maybe even players from other colleges that hope to be drafted by the Green Bay Packers or hope to be drafted by one team or other, but will play for any team that they're drafted for because they want to make that money and show that they're best in the world at what they do. So for me, like I said, whether it's Los Angeles covering the Rams or maybe news affiliate in Cleveland, Ohio, sees one of my episodes and interesting and have me covering the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, like I said, I respect all 32 teams. They're all professional. I give them. I mean, I also give them give teams sometimes crap, not because I'm being mean, but just speaking the truth and being honest in my opinions on all 32, on all 32 teams. So, but like I said, that opportunity's sake, I don't mind where the opportunity is, as long as I have one, and then I take that ball and run with it, so to speak. When you have an opportunity, you can't waste it in anything that you do. But again, just my opinion on that, my professional opinion about that for anybody watching. But yeah, definitely hoping that can be the case, and we'll see how things go moving forward. Like I said, I have a lot to offer. Just need the shot. That's why I always say share this with videos. Let me know what you think about this or what can I improve. And that's why I always say that because I want to, and I already know in my head stuff that I have to improve. That I need to get better equipment stuff to make this look HD, not to have it to actually use an actual camera. Probably on a what's it called? Tripod is what that's called. The camera on the tripod to go live and stuff like that. That because it'll actually give you more definition. Like you'll actually see more definition of this couch. I mean, this couch is awesome, but it's still a couch. But other people that do videos on couches, it looks better because of the actual presentation of 3D video. So that's what I'm hoping to get to as too. But that's why I need to make money in it. But I also don't want to ask for money because that seems petty as well. So it's kind of don't ask for it, try to do it yourself. But doing it yourself is gonna take a lot longer for you to get to that point. You're trying to make it up in the in your career. And so I mean, like I said, obviously I'd like to work for the Green Bay Packers, work at Lambeau Field, getting to interview them, having like a specific official podcast at the Green Bay Packers show, saying whatever that I get the host or co-host or be part of. That would be the dream to work for the Green Bay Packers. But if opportunity arises for news affiliates or other 31 other teams, then obviously I'm going to take it and go where the opportunity is, which is best for business. Hmm. Like I said, I'm still going to wait a little bit here. Wait a little bit here to see if my amigo will be able to join in on the fun. If he doesn't, well, then this is very awkward with the silence here, but I don't know if you guys can hear me typing, but I'm just trying to think of other. And if I don't do, like I said, there's not too much extra NFL news or notes or things like that. Just slowly crawl to get to next week and start getting into predictions. My bread and butter. I mean, I am predictions champion for talking WWJ. I am reigning defending prediction champion over main event March for WWE podcast predictions. Now predictions are predictions, so it's in everybody's opinion. Anybody can win a prediction battle, but it's still as me being a competitive person, respectful competitive person. Um, want to win in everything I do. So that's why in my wanting to become a broadcaster, I want to win by not just maybe getting to my dream of working for the Green Bay Packers, but just my goal to work anywhere, either representing a team or a news station that talks about a team, sports department, or however and wherever that road may go. But hard work is part of it. You're not just gonna get it; you gotta earn it, and that's what I plan to do. And I hope that my 5 years of experience plus, and so um, doing it in front of a camera at all, even though it is a laptop camera, not a professional TV camera. I know I hear people sometimes, because I know someone else that got interviewed or something, they go in for a camera test or something like that. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's just, whatever, what works best. So, dress to impress, work hard to impress, then you may impress someone somewhere that you didn't even think about, like an RKO out of nowhere, that you'll get that opportunity. Or heck, even a chance to audition. But I'm always excited for the NFL season. I know I don't show it as much as maybe an ADP or other people with loudness and raising voices. I do a more monotone, relaxed, calm, relaxed kind of feel. So, that's. But I still have that passion. But really looking forward to the NFL season, not just for the Packers, but for all 32. Should be another great year, and hopefully unpredictability. Like I said, I have my bold prediction of those four teams making the playoffs. And in my prediction for the playoffs, I have that actually coming to fruition, my opinion, and we'll see if that actually does happen. Jacksonville Jaguars, Oakland Raiders, Los Angeles Rams, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Prove me right. Prove me right that you four will be making the playoffs. And especially Oakland, prove me right that you're going to be winning that division. That would be awesome. Hey, there's a chance. There's an opening now. Take the opportunity. But we all of us NFL fans, whether you're a Packer fan, a fellow Packer fan, or a New York Giant fan, Jacksonville Jaguar fan, Indianapolis Colts fan, like my friend Stephen A. At Stephen A. 1181 on Twitter. Again, that's at Stephen A. 1181 on Twitter. He's a good follow. He always interacts with people. But anyways, whether you're a fan of any of the 32, just that you're pumped up thinking this could be the year for your team, or you think your team's gonna improve, and all this time, and then we get to the NFL season, we get halfway there, things start to unfold, and by the time that we know it, snap of our fingers, we're to week 17. The bracket for the playoffs are filling out. We're getting to the end of your playoffs or your Super Bowl, so to speak, for fantasy football, either at week 17 or before. Um, and then we get to the playoffs, and then by the time we know it, season's over, we do this all over again, the waiting game for the next season. So it's it's always exciting, it's always interesting. I always look forward to seeing how it goes, but we'll have to see. It's gonna be a wild ride. It's gonna be fun. SmackDown, yeah. But just saying, like I said, I hope to seize the day, seize opportunity, maybe. Like I said, from NFL, well, NFL team, news station, yada yada, blah blah blah. We'll see. Get an opportunity because, like I said, broadcasting is where I want to be. I've been doing this for 5 years for this specific show and for Steve's Wrestling Ramble, taking on doing other podcasts that I co-host. I really enjoy what I do, talking NFL, WWE, and other things. That I just love it. I love talking about the business of WWE, business of NFL. The NFL season. Like I said, I show my passion in a different way. Not in the rah rah yelling. I raised my voice with it, but that's just me. My each his own. But trust me, it's there. And when it's game day, Packers week 1, and hopefully my best friend Tyler, who's able to join me to watch the week 1 games or any game that I'm watching with my family. We usually have most of my family able to join in for most Packer games. Hopefully, we'll be able to go to another Packer game. Last year, I was fortunate enough to go to the Thanksgiving Day game. I won another contest, just like I did 2 years prior to that. That time, 2 years prior, was Detroit Lions. Get to go to in the suite, I mean a guest. This time, a regular one for regular tickets, but great seats though for Packers Everywhere.com. And let's go there. And I took my sister this time for the Thanksgiving Day game, and that's where I met or tried to meet met my friend John there. So because him and his family were there. So um, but it's season mode and everything like that. I can during a game like just put it this way: if I did a live stream and I put the laptop, or if I had a real camera, if I actually was big time, or just able to have the money to even try to be big time, I did a live stream and live feed of me watching a football game. Heck, not even a Packer game. I can be watching a preseason game. Let's say here, this Tampa Bay Washington game that's going to be tomorrow night, Wednesday night, ESPN, I think, or not. We'll see. Or ABC, who knows? If it is nationally televised. If that's the case, just watching that game, I'll be amped and watching stuff like that. Heck, during this break, here in the later part after the NFL draft, I was watching CFL games, Arena Bowl games, the Arena Bowl, whatever, XL something something, Philadelphia and Arizona playing. That was interesting to me. But point is, if you saw me do a live stream for a football game, Packers week 1 or Packers any game or NFL game, period, you'd find that very entertaining. You'd find that very interesting, especially if somebody puts it on camera that I don't know. If I know that it's there, I might be a little bit tentative, but still will be myself and relaxed. But if I didn't know and I'm going crazy, and you'll see it, I'll be like, dang it, what the heck? Like I'm looking at the TV going, dang it, what the heck you doing? Did I block there or tackle? Or you'll hear my grandfather in the background saying something about the play, or you know, just as anybody does, any family, any group that watches football games for their teams each week. So if I did live stream, that actually might actually get more hits on that video, more views, because it's like a live reaction than even any of these podcasts. Which, whether it's unfortunate or not, it would be true. Because there, I would show passion. I'd be yelling. I'd be standing up, or and whatever. I might be out of frame to this, camera on my laptop. But I'd be standing up. Whether it's a good play or a bad play, you hear me yelling. I probably still won't cuss because even off camera, I don't cuss too much. But sometimes it slips out. But I don't know. Maybe I might do that for one of the games, a live stream. See how that goes. And then during halftime, I could talk about how the game's going, and or during commercials, you can interact with me on Twitter during that time at talking_Packers. It could be a great event for this channel and for me, especially since I'm, like I said, trying to grow my career with broadcasting and stuff. So, just trying to see how things are going around here. I just found out from John who said his power went out. So that's unfortunate. I mean, like I said, I know this podcast isn't the bee's knees, but well, that is unfortunate. Like I said, I do apologize for the silence here, in and out, trying to sorry, Mayor. Well, I think everybody that watched live and will be watching archived, and I will be back next week. Hopefully, John will be able to make it. Hopefully, there's no freak storm or stuff going on that he'll be able to miss. If he is able to make it next week, we'll be doing our predictions for week one of the 2016 NFL season. So excited for it. Seriously, can't wait. I might think about and actually do a live reaction for either week one game or maybe one of the other week's big games for the Green Bay Packers. And or if I do one for week one and it goes so well, I might actually do it each and every week. That's up to people here and a part of YouTube Nation if they care. So definitely welcome to check out my other podcasts and other episodes of this podcast in the playlist, Talking Packers with Steve, within my podcast or within my channel here. You'll be able to easily find it. I don't have too many playlists anymore. I used to have even more, but I kind of cut it down since, like I said, I'm trying to be all 100% legit and professional. So, like I said, John, hopefully he'll be able to make it next week for the show. And if he does, like I said, we'll be doing our predictions for week one of the season, and then also I'll get his thoughts on all the news in the NFL that happened this week with Tim Masthay being cut, Teddy Bridgewater being injured and out for the season, Dak Prescott, how he's doing, and all the other news that I brought up tonight. Again, I do apologize for the silence and all that other stuff during the episode. Trust me, next week, next week is gonna be good. Next week is gonna be legit. Next week it's gonna be lit. Next week it's gonna be good. Next week it's gonna be on point. Next week, whatever other cool phrases the kids say today or just people say today, it's gonna be next week. It's gonna be flowing better. It's gonna be hyped. Get hyped. Stay hyped. Be ready for the NFL season. Go Pack, go for me. And good luck to your team as well. But hey, the time of the episode. Time to say goodbye. Hope you guys all have a great rest of your week. Steve Russ Scramble will be coming to this channel here in the next couple of days. I'll be talking SmackDown Live and Raw. But like I said, enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll be back next week for Talking Packers with Steve. Getting ready for week one. It's almost here, finally. And as always, take care.